Hey, I'm ChristopherJMUA and welcome back to my channel. Unless you've never been here, of course, then welcome. I'm so glad you stopped by. Today we are reviewing the NARS Soft Matte Complete Foundation. I'm going to show you guys my initial first impressions of the product, see how other products build on top of it, see how it sets in place, see if it oxidizes, tell you a little bit more information about the foundation, as well as a wear time test. So if you want to see all of those things and know more about the NARS Soft Matte Complete Foundation, then stay exactly where you are, keep doing exactly what you're doing, and keep on watching. Now, this Soft Matte Complete Foundation, I ordered from Sephora and it was $40. The Sephora website says that it is a full coverage, transfer-proof, oxidation-resistant foundation that lasts up to 16 hours with a natural-looking matte finish. As a lot of you know, matte finishes is not necessarily my forte because I am normal, leaning, dry skin. So a lot of the time, matte foundations will just look cakey and really dry and gross on me. And in my opinion, it is possible for a person with normal to dry skin to have a matte foundation. Even though we are normal to dry, it's not that we don't want to have matte foundation sometimes. Needless to say, I'm constantly on the search for mattifying foundations that don't make me look dry and cakey. So we are gonna hope that this might be that. And coming in at $40, I feel like it's a pretty mid-range price for the foundation. It's not drugstore for sure, but it's not luxury for sure. Now I did go ahead and start out with priming my face. I used my Clarins Instant Smooth Perfecting Touch Primer along with my Pure Iconic Glow Illuminating Face and Body Oil along with my Cover FX Glitter Drops in the shade Aurora, which has some like purple pinky glitter pieces in it. I wanted it to match my eyeshadow. But anyway, I used this so that I could hydrate just a little bit, just to help aid in making sure that it doesn't dry me out too much. Now the unit carton for the foundation is very NARS, obviously. It's very clean, very minimalistic, if you will, with its tall, elegant typography. Very pretty box, in my opinion. I like the simplicity of that. Now, let's open it. Oh, by the way, I got the shade Light 5, which is Fiji. This foundation comes in 34 shades, and it is a little light, medium, heavy, more so on the light side, but the deepest, darkest shade does seem to get pretty dark. Obviously, there's room for expansion. There's always room for expansion, but I feel like it is a pretty decent shade range to begin with. Now, let's open the package and see what the actual foundation bottle looks like. Ooh, okay. Oh, it's like a tube, but it's not a tube. Or is it a tube? Is it like a squeeze tube? That's weird. That's very different. I only have one other foundation that's in this kind of sort of packaging like this, and it's my Illamasqua Skin Base. Kind of has similar sort of packaging. It's just a very hard plastic. Now, just to make sure I can show you guys the different application techniques that you can use for this foundation and how they might affect your capability of using it, I'm going to use my Sigma F80 flat kabuki brush on the left side of my face and my Gerard Cosmetics sponge on the right side of my face. I'm going to shake it just in case, 'cause I'm a little worried that it might be one of those that require it. Now I'm just going to take a couple of drops on the brush. Just 2 to start, and now I'm gonna start building and see where it takes me. It looks like the shade match is gonna be okay. I think it's actually gonna be a shade match. That kind of blended away to nothing, honestly. I think my brush just soaked all of that up. I have my 2 little spots still there. I'm gonna drip my next 2 drops directly on my face. I feel like my brush soaked up all of the coverage that I was potentially gonna get out of that. So either that dries really, really fast, or a little does not go a long way. Or perhaps both. I think it does dry really fast though, because I'm seeing where I first applied it, it doesn't seem to move very far from that point. It's almost like it dried in place before I got the chance to get to it with a brush, and now I have sections that are much more coverage and pigmented than the rest. So I'm just gonna go ahead and squeeze some of this out onto the back of my hand. I'm not gonna count it by drops. I'm just gonna squeeze some out, and I'm gonna go in with the brush completely saturated at all edges and just really start going in. It's time to build it up and see what kind of coverage we get out of it. Wow. You gotta work so fast with a brush. It is already almost dry on the back of my hand, and my face looks already dry. However, it's not looking bad dry. It's not looking like cakey dry or anything. It just looks like not wet. It is for sure matte, no doubt in my mind at all. It does look really velvety. I gotta give them that. And now, let's try the sponge. Again, I'm just gonna go ahead and squeeze some out on the back. That was probably the equivalent of maybe 2 or 3 drops. And let's see how this spreads out. Obviously, the sponge is gonna soak up some of the product, so we'll say that's the equivalent of 2 drops of foundation. It's definitely got a full coverage finish already. Using a wet sponge definitely sheared it out just a little bit. It made it more of, I'd say like a light medium kind of coverage. It still gives me a nice even layer of color over the skin, but it's not really giving me any real coverage. So now let's build it up to real coverage. I do like that you can get it to more of like a medium and it still looks soft and really pretty. It's just got that really nice velvety finish. But alas, let's see if it still holds that velvety finish once it's built up. Okay, here we are with the first initial application of the brush side and the sponge side. What do you guys think so far? Can you tell a difference between the 2 sides? Do you prefer the way one looks over the other? Let me know in the comments. I don't really know that I can tell a difference on the monitor. In person, the sponge side, it looks a little smoother. So it definitely pressed in really well with the sponge and blended out really well with the brush. I honestly can't pick one. I would say if you want to build up the coverage faster, go with the brush. If you want to build it up slower but have it look a little bit softer, then maybe go with the sponge. Ultimately though, I think it's just going to be up to you. And now I'm going to go ahead and just hit fast forward real quick. Go ahead and apply all the rest of my face products so that you guys can see how they work with the foundation firsthand as I go. And then I'll give my thoughts once I finish the application. Okay, I got all my face products applied and I had literally 0 problems out of anything that I applied on top of the foundation on either side. The foundation never moved, not once, and I had 3 primers on underneath. Well, technically 2. I had 2 primers on underneath the foundation, so it's cool that it worked with both a pore-filling, silk-like finish primer as well as a facial oil primer. So no problems with it mixing with those. It still has that really beautiful velvet type finish. It looks really, really natural. I really love it so far. It looks great. So now I'm gonna go ahead and finish off my eyes and my lips off camera, and then I'm gonna go ahead and live about my day as I normally would, and I will check in with you guys once the day has ended and let you know how the foundation lasted and also give you my final thoughts on the NARS Soft Matte Complete Foundation. On the NARS Soft Matte Complete Foundation. So for me, it's gonna be quite a few hours. For you, I'll see you in just a second. Hey guys, right now we are at the 3-hour mark for the NARS Complete Coverage Foundation. It looks really beautiful. I gotta admit, I like my face. I like my face a lot right now. It looks really pretty. I don't really have any, there's some light, but you can see it doesn't have any super extreme shine from my own oils coming through. It's not dry and matte, but it looks matte still. Just looks really good. And it's wearing even better. I like it. See you at the next check-in. We are now back for our last and final check-in, and it is 2:33 a.m., which means it has now officially been 11 and a half hours that I've been wearing this foundation, and I think it said 12 hours was like its wear time. I fell asleep at one point in time. All I've done is sprayed my face with some continuous mist setting spray to kind of just freshen up, and I reapplied my gloss because it was all over my face whenever I woke up, since I may or may not have had tiny little cat nap. But let's see what the foundation looks like. It looks absolutely gorgeous. It has more of like a satiny finish now, but it still looks super skin-like. I don't look super creasy. I don't have a bunch of patches anywhere. I don't look cakey anywhere. It's not like the foundation is bunched up in any places. Nothing has moved. Literally nothing. Not a fleck of glitter out of place. I would bet you that I could probably just set this with some pressed powder and just touch up and last another 12 hours because it still looks great. I will say though, for a matte foundation, or for it claiming to be super matte, I do have currently a little bit of shine, but I feel like that would be put at bay if I did touch up, essentially. And I would guess that I probably wouldn't lose any of the coverage that I have, and it wouldn't be moved around based on how much it has locked in so far. So I would definitely say that the NARS Soft Matte Complete Foundation is for sure a recommend. Definitely if you're oily, for sure if you're normal and you want just a matte finish and not a glowy or radiant finish to your foundation, or if you're normal leaning dry, because it still won't affect you. It goes on just a little matte at first and wears beautifully throughout the day. So there you go. Those are my final thoughts on the NARS foundation. What do you guys think? What do you think about the 11 and a half hour mark? I know I like it. Let me know what you guys think about the foundation. Have you tried it? Do you want to try it? And do you think it's worth the $40 price tag? I had fun this video, and if you did too, please don't forget to give me a big thumbs up down below. It does let me know that you like my content, but it also lets others know that you like my content, which in turn lets YouTube know that you like my content. Also, if you like this look and you want to see more looks like them, you can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, and Snapchat. My username is the same for everything. It's just ChristopherJMUA. And if you gain nothing out of this video, if you gain nothing out of any of my videos, please at least gain this. And that is to always remember and to never forget that you are absolutely beautiful. And I love you guys. Bye.